And he's like, fucking cut it off, cut the tentacle off. And meanwhile, there's more tentacles coming inside the docking station, chat. And they're like trying to attack the rednecks. It's smelling things, chat. It's like it places one, it's like has a smelling tentacle, a smelling hentai tentacle, chat, and like a sucking human meat off tentacle. Hello, I just wanted to thank you for clicking on my video, and I wanted to let you know not only do I create content in my YouTube channel here, Class in a Glass, but I'm also on Twitch where I play single player games, multiplayer games. I do movie reviews, cartoon reviews, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Also, it would be a big help if you can check out my Patreon, where you can gain access to audio commentaries, reactions, and the ability to submit questions for my podcasts and videocasts. And all that content can be found in the links below. In the meantime, enjoy the video.
We want the boy.
You try it.
Kill him!
We must start from the beginning, and we're just gonna get a plethora of Stephen King references, chat, because, chat, we followed the character of David Drayton, chat. Now, as you know, I struggle with some of the names of the characters in movies, chat, so I give them little nicknames. In this case, chat, I'm just gonna call David by his actor's name, which is Thomas Jane, chat. Frank Castle himself, well, technically not the OG Punisher, chat. He was he obviously, you'll know Dolph Lundgren played the original Punisher in the Punisher 1989 film, chat. Right? But he played the second one. And I think the underrated 2004 film, I like that film, chat. I'm sorry. You know, it's a low matinee for me, okay? I thought Thomas Jane was actually legitimately good in that film. But Thomas Jane is David Drayton, chat, and he is a main character in a Stephen King film, so he's going to go through a struggle. It's not going to be easy for him. But, chat, as I said before, a plethora of Stephen King references right in the opening, chat, because what is fucking Thomas Jane's job? His job is an artiste, chat. He's a Bob Ross, chat. He's like a Bob Ross-esque painter, and he does all sorts of movie posters and book covers. And what is he doing? Like the opening of the film, chat. What is he working on? The cover to one of the graphic novels of The Dark Tower. I thought, that's pretty goddamn cool. We see Roland, chat, the gunslinger. I'm like, that's a cool little Easter egg, chat, especially because The Dark Tower and The Mist are connected to each other, chat. Like, a lot of Stephen King's books all have references to each other. Like, they're all kind of a part of the same world, or worlds within worlds, or kind of, related, chat, across different dimensions. So I thought, that's a really cool reference, chat. And sadly, that's the best thing that we've seen of The Dark Tower on screen yet, is a fucking drawing in another movie that is barely connected to The Dark Tower. I was like, Jesus Christ. But that was a nice little reference. It also has a Thing poster in the background, chat, the original Thing poster. So clearly this guy, he has a specific aesthetic that he adheres to. But his concentration, chat, it's been blown off course, much like the fucking weather outside, chat, because there is a storm brewing across the lake. Thomas Jane, he's just like, that looks bad. You know what? I'm gonna stop painting this wonderful cover right here for Stephen King's comic book adaptation of his award-winning series. Thank you for publishing shit. I thought it was the Thing poster was what he was painting. I forgot about the gunslinger image. Yeah, exactly. Roland Decane. He said, I'm going to put down the pastels right now, okay? And I'm going to get my family, my little boy, who's, I don't know his name, Chad. His name is, you know what, Chad? He feels like a Billy to me. He feels like a Billy to me. I don't know if that's the character's name, chat, but I'm going to call him Billy. And his wife, Stephanie, she's like, all right, guys, let's go into the cellar, chat. And they go down the cellar, and good thing he did. Good thing he was not still painting the gunslinger, chat, Roland Decane, because a fucking tree just comes right through the window and would have impaled him, chat. He would have been just filled with bark and wood, and it would not have been sexy at all, chat. Thomas Jane would have been dead, and that would have been it. It would have been a very short film. And so the next morning, chat, he goes into the room, fucking destroyed all of his lovely posters and work, chat. He picks up the goddamn image of Roland. Chat. He goes, it's ruined, and he goes outside. Looks at the damages of the tree, and Stephanie's just like, well, you know what? Glad you weren't in there. Glad we were in the cellar. He's like, yeah, I mean, I wish I took this downstairs with me. Could have saved it. And you think they're going to give you an extension, the deadline? I hope so. That fucking Stephen King guy's a son of a bitch. But I imagine he will. I imagine they will. They'll have to. He's surveying the damage. And then little Billy, And little Billy, he's running up, and he's like, guys, you won't believe it. Come. And they're like, what are you talking about, Billy? He's like, oh my God, is it a monster, Chad? Is it like a monster's body that was that washed up on the shore during the storm, Chad? No. We come to a chat. Apparently, Billy is really into just seeing general destruction because apparently, chat, this old decrepit tree, this old rotten tree on the neighbor's property, chat, on the neighbor's property has fallen upon on their boathouse, chat, on the little boathouse. And goddamn Thomas Jane, he's a little peeved by this. He's a little peeved because he has some history with the neighbor, chat. The neighbor who is Andre Braugher, chat. Andre Braugher of Brooklyn 999. Jesus, like I told him months ago to take down that tree over and over again. And, the wife Stephanie's like, well, I mean, you two have a history. Apparently, chat, they came to blows at one point. I don't know. It was some bad stuff. It was some bad blood. We only get like a little bits and pieces through dialogue, chat, but they're not in good terms. And he's like, I'm gonna go into town. I'm just gonna go ahead and talk to him and try to get his insurance information so we can. Because this is our fucking boathouse. Our boat was in there. Now we don't have a boat. We don't have a boathouse and we don't have a boat. She's like, all right, go ahead and talk to him. So he's like, he gives his wife a little smooch. He's like, Stephanie, I'll see you in a few hours. You keep staying beautiful. And Stephanie's like, oh boy, will I. So he goes over to Andre Braugher, chat, and he's quite upset. He's trying to work a chainsaw, chat, and Andre Braugher, he does not know how to work a chainsaw. So he's saying shit, fuck, a lot of bad words. He used the C word a couple of times. I'm like, oh my God, using the C word. We're only 10 minutes in this movie. Using that kind of vocabulary. All right, Andre Braugher. But then he senses, he just knows. I love it. He doesn't even turn around. His Thomas Jane senses a tingle. He's like, Thomas Jane? He hears him. He turns around and he's like, oh, hi, Thomas Jane. He's like, hello, Andre Braugher. Crazy storm, right? I mean, they're trying to do small talk, chat, and it's just failing. The tension is thick, chat. You can cut it like a knife through butter. It's terrible. And yeah, he's like, you need help with the chainsaw? Tells him how to do the chainsaw, and he helps. He's like, thanks. And he says, hey, so your tree fell on my boathouse, and it's like, I mean, it's all right, but I think it might be best for us to exchange insurance information. Andre Braugher's like, oh, Thomas Jane. He's very mad at Thomas Jane, chat, but he calms himself. He's like, I'm a little busy doing this right now, but I'll look for that insurance information later, okay? He's like, sounds good. And you going in the town for any supplies? And Andre Braugher's like, nope. And he points all the way to his driveway, chat, where another tree has fallen and crushed and destroyed his car. It's not great. It's not great. And he's like, oh, and Thomas Jane's like, that sucks, man. That sucks. He's like, yeah, it does suck. He's like, you know what? Thomas Jane wants to be the peacemaker, chat. He wants to like, okay, we're starting fresh. Hey, do you need help with anything? Andre Braugher's like, well, you going to town? He's like, yes. He's like, could you take me to the grocery store and like to the carpentry store? And he's like, yeah, I'll take you. And so they take an Andre Braugher, chat. Little Billy is joining them. And so they drive all the way to the local supermarket, chat, and they park their stuff. It's like, all right, before we go to the goddamn the carpentry store, chat, hardware store, all that good stuff, let's get some food. We're hungry because all the food in our let's get some non-perishables because all the food in our fridge is gonna go rotten, chat, because the power's all out too where they live. And so let's go inside, and we're introduced to a plethora of fucking characters. There's a lot of characters in this movie. This is an ensemble cast, if you will. Okay, you spend some time with each and every person. You don't even know a lot of people. You're primarily with fucking Thomas Jane and Billy. Also, a couple others, chat, but we introduced to a couple people. And so, right at the bat, chat, we got fucking the shop girl clerk. She's the cashier, chat. I'm going to say her name is Kelly. I don't know if that's her name, chat. We're going to call her Kelly the cashier. And she's like, hi, Thomas Jane. She's like, hey, Kelly, you good to fucking babysit Billy, this upcoming Saturday? She's like, oh, hell yeah, I am. You paying? She's like, you know it, Kelly. He's like, yeah. And then he goes over to one of his very close friends, Toby Jones. Toby Jones, I think his name is Ollie in the film. I'm going to call him Toby Jones for the sake of convenience, chat. He also plays Arnim Zola in the Captain America movie, chat. He was the little Nazi guy who was hanging around Mr. Smith. He's that guy. And his job, Chad, is he's the bagger. He likes to bag things and gives them to people. And they're having a nice little conversation, Chad. Andre Braugher, he's holding the hand of Billy. Because, Thomas Jane was very adamant about, like, you hold Andre Braugher's hand as you shop with him. And he's like, all right, shit. And they go shopping. And... but here's the situation's gotten a little tense because who walks in the goddamn supermarket, chat? What the hell's her name? Mrs. Carmody, chat. Mrs. Carmody, and she's the town kook. She's the town crazy lady, chat. She's very religious, chat, and she looks down upon anyone. Even if you're a Christian, she's like, you're not Christian enough, okay? I am the Omega level 10 Christian, okay? And you ain't shit. And Toby Jones, he's like, well, this is part of his job, Chad. He's also the greeter. He's the bag boy and the greeter. And he goes, hello, Mrs. Carmine. She goes, I don't give a fuck about you, Toby Jones. He's like, oh, great. And so she walks and does her shopping. During this chat, we're also introduced to a whole bunch of other characters. Also introduced to Andrea, chat, from The Walking Dead. I don't know her name. Oh yeah, she was Officer Holden, chat, from Silent Hill. That's funny. Same actor, Officer Holden, chat. We're gonna call her Andrea for the sake of convenience. And also, we're introduced to the character of Irene, chat. She's a school teacher. She's working with another teacher right now. She's getting some groceries for the kids, chat. And, she's a firecracker. She's pretty goddamn funny. And also a whole bunch of other people. And they're doing their shopping. Everyone's talking to each other. But, all of a sudden, chat, they notice something. Like, there's this mist coming in. I'm like, what the fuck? And we noticed this mist earlier, too. This mist was coming off the mountains and onto their lake towards Thomas Jane's and Andre Braugher's property. And, Thomas Jane's like, it's just mist from the storm. And Stephanie's like, did that happen? Does fucking mist appear after, like, a big storm? He goes, sure it does. That's what fucking mist does. I don't know, chat. I'd be fucked. I would be one of the first people dead in this goddamn film. Because I'd be like, it's fine. It's mist. And then, get my goddamn, I'd be bisected, chat. All you see of me is my torso, and that's it. No more legs. And so they notice that this mist comes rolling. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Also, Carol from The Walking Dead's there too, chat. So apparently, Frank Darabont just casts the same people in all of his movies, chat. And he put him in The Walking Dead because he was initially the showrunner for season 1, season 2. And you notice that a lot of those people eventually died off because, like, well, we're going to support, Frank Darabont, his vision. We won't be a part of the show. Carol went, fuck that. I'm getting paid how much money? Millions? I'm making 7 figures a year. Fuck, I'm going to be in this series forever. But she's in this too. And eventually, chat, they see this fucking mist pouring, and they go to the front of the store like, what the fuck's happening? You see all these people fucking running, chat. They're like, what? And then all of a sudden, chat, fucking Dale from The Walking Dead, he goes, fucking, close the doors! Close the doors! They grabbed Joey! They grabbed him! He's like, Dale from The Walking Dead, take it easy. What's wrong? He's like, they grabbed him. He's covered in blood. He's like, what's wrong with you? What happened? He's like, I don't know. I didn't get a look at it. But it came for the mist. And then you see all these other people, like, running into different buildings, chat, because they're kind of like in a... like in a square. It's like a square market. You got the grocery store, you got the pharmacy, you got the hardware store, like all these things. You also have these military guys who walk into chat, these military police. You got fucking Sam Whitmer, Darth Maul's in this chat. Got good old Darth Maul and his boys. They come out in and they're trying to calm everyone down. It's like, it's fine, don't worry about it. Military police, they go to the pharmacy or something. And eventually though, chat, things are just getting really bad because now the entire mist, this mist has just completely covered the entire parking lot. And they're going, what the fuck? And Dale's like, don't open the doors. Don't do it. So people are just like already confused. And they're like, I mean, we should go out there. I mean, what's wrong? And Dale's like, fuck, I saw someone die. He's like, what happened to him? He's like, I mean, I didn't get a good look at it, but he definitely took him. All right, he was right next to me, and I heard him screaming, and I had his blood and viscera and guts all over me. And everyone's like, Jesus. And then Carol from The Walking Dead, chat, she's just like, oh, God. Oh, Jesus, oh, God. They're like, what's wrong, Carol from The Walking Dead? She's like, I just told my kids that I'd be gone for a couple minutes. The oldest, she's only 6, and she's looking after my 3-year-old, and she sometimes forgets, and she might forget, and he can wander off. It's like, I have to go. And like, we can't let you out of the store. She's like, I have to go back. I have to. And she's like, will someone help me? And chat, just the fucking look of shame on all these people's faces, just going, oh, Jesus, no. Like, everyone's fucking, also you have all the sirens. You got the fucking Silent Hill siren, like playing in the outside too. And she's looking at every single character, even like from Andre Brower, who's just like, I'm not gonna do that. Even Thomas Jane's like, I got my own kid, I got my own boy, and she's like, the fuck you people. And I'll give her this, chat. She's like, I gotta go, and she goes to the front. They let her pass, and she gives one last look and goes, I'm gonna remember this look, remember this goddamn look right now. And she leaves, and she goes into the mist. That's it. And eventually they're like, okay, this is just fucking weird. Let's not go out there. There's a reason why these sirens are going off right now. We got plenty of food. We'll be okay. We'll be okay in here. So at this point, like, everyone's kind of taking stock of what they have. Meanwhile, fucking Mrs. Carmody, she's losing her goddamn mind. She's speaking of the apocalypse, and people are like, shut the hell up. Shut the hell up, okay? Your fire and brimstone, that's not going to have any effect on us, okay? We are sensible people, and we make articulate, well-informed decision based on the facts there in front of us. She just goes, yeah, I'm sure you will. And so she's going off, chat. Eventually, like, all this, people are just starting to get a little racked. Like, they want to leave, but they're just too scared to go outside. And they're like, we don't really want to do this. Eventually, Mr. Carmody, she goes to the fucking bathroom, chat. She's just praying. Whoa! So she's an average Christian. Thank you, Darksaber, for the 5 minutes. Appreciate that. Remember that. Remember this. A lot of things to remember. And so she goes to the bathroom, and she's just fucking praying. She's just like, these people, just let me help them. Let's just get through this. And then, Andrea, she comes on in. She goes, hey, you don't need to always feel scared. Like, we're here for each other. And Carmody's just like, fucking Andrea, the fact that you would tell me to calm down, first of all, you're not a Christian. You're a she-devil, okay? And if I want a friend, I just fucking shit one out. And she leaves, and she's like, oh my God. Wow. It's really fucked up. That's the last we'll ever see anyone. Don't go and miss. Afro. We shall see. But very mean towards Andrea, chat. So already this lady, she has a low opinion of everyone in the goddamn store. At this point, though, the generator goes out suddenly, chat. And it's like, people are already fucking tense. Goddamn Billy, he's sucking on his thumb, chat. He's panicking because of fucking Dale talking about people being grabbed and being covered in blood and viscera and guts, chat, and bone marrow. And he's a little freaked out, chat. He's being looked after, Irene's friend, one of her fellow teachers. She's like, I'll look after him, okay? And Thomas Jane's like, okay, cool, I'm going to go see what's going on with the generator. So he goes to the back of the store. He goes to the back of the store, down in the warehouse section, and he notices he smells it first. He's like, oh, what the hell? It's all this smoke coming from the generator room. And he goes over there. He's like, oh, shit. Something's like on top of it or something, like on the outside, it's blocking it. And you're getting all this blowback, this exhaust. And he just shuts it off, but that also turns off a lot of the power, chat, except for the emergency generators. So the emergency generators are still going, chat. They're on the other side of the store. And he's like, well, shit, I got to tell the guys. So he walks out, chat, but he notices. He hears this sound, chat, like it's smashing against the loading dock door. He turns around, and something is pressing up on this loading dock door. And he's like, what the fuck is that? And then he gets close to it and goes, bah, and he goes, fuck, okay, Jesus. And he hightails it out of there. And he goes and talks to Toby Jones, some of the other guys, these two fucking country bumpkin redneck motherfuckers. And he's like, hey, guys, because they're asking, hey, did you get the generator working again? He's like, I turned off the generator. It's like, why'd you do that? He's like, okay, it's weird, but I think there's something outside. And they're like, what are you talking about? I think there's something outside in the mist. And they're like, oh, come on. Now is not the time to start pulling our leg, Thomas Jane. Like, I know you're this big-time city folk guy drawing your little pictures being paid millions of dollars, and you just think we're all dumb, all right? But now's not the time, okay? People are scared. Let's go get the generator. And Toby Jones, the only one's like, listen, I'm with Thomas Jane, okay? I mean, he's a sensible individual. Something's up. But they all go to the back room, and they see the generator's like, the generator's all busted. We got to turn, and they try to turn on it, but they can't. They're like, we got to get it on the outside. And Thomas Jane's like, guys, I don't think we should go outside. Okay, there was something pressing against this thing right here, okay? Against the dock door. They're like, pressing against the dock door. And, you think we're pussies? You think we're a bunch of pussies? And Thomas Jane's like, okay, why are you guys getting so aggressive right now? And they also have another fellow bag boy, Norm the bag boy. He's like, we're not fucking pussies, city boy. And he's like, what? And Toby Jones kind of takes him aside and goes, listen, these guys, they don't like having a lack of control, okay? This is the one thing they know they can do. They can repair a generator. They know how to do that. And so they feel, they're feeling a little anxious right now, so just let him have this. And Thomas Jane's like, I don't think we should open the door. He's like, I agree with you, but let's just let him do it. And so, fucking Norm, like at this point, the country bumpkins are like, hey, who wants to go outside? Norm's like, I'll fucking do it. I'm brave. And Thomas Jane's like, don't do it, man. He's like, I'll do it whatever the hell I want. Okay, Thomas Jane. And so one of the country guys, the rednecks, they got the button chat to open the dock door. Thank you. Southern Kents. Yes, exactly, Dark Slayer. Thank you. I ain't no bitch, you yank. Pretty much is what they called him. And so they got the fucking door, and it lifts up a little bit, chat. It's about, I'd say like a little less than knee high, a little less than knee high. Norm just got this fucking smug face. He's like, thinks I'm a pussy. I'm brave. I'm Norm, man. I'm Norm. We don't know, chat. When he's just talking to himself, we just cut back to the other actors, Thomas J. Toby Jones, and they're going, what the fuck is that? Norm's like, what, guys? And then this fucking hentai tentacle just wraps around his legs, chat, and just begins chewing on him. He goes, ah, ah! He's just screaming, chat. He's just screaming. It's literally just taking chunks out of his leg. And now, this is, the scene, the context is amazing. This hentai monstrosity, chat, you just see tentacles, comes out from the mist, chat, underneath the dock door, and wraps itself around Norm's legs and just begins sucking up meat, chat. It's like, I know how to describe it. It's like, think of a straw, chat. Think of a straw, you know? You put it in the glass, you suck up the liquid, but think of that as human meat that it's sucking up and just taking big globular chunks out of. Horrifying, right? The thing is, though, chat, like a lot of CGI from, as I said this before, from the late 90s and 2000s and mid-2000s, chat, it does not age very well. There was a time, I think after, I'd say like 2008 is when it's still pretty good. But here, chat, they use a lot of CGI in this movie. And it's like for tentacles, it's like, okay, I can see where it's, okay, you have to have CGI, but you can tell that this is a CGI tentacle, chat. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That is obviously CGI. And it just feels like you need a little more rendering, chat. You need a little more texture on it because it's just too goddamn smooth. Right? It's too goddamn smooth. But the scene itself is quite fucking horrific, chat, because Thomas Jane and Toby Jones, they're fucking grabbing Norm, and the rednecks are like, holy fucking shit. They're just stone-faced, chat. They don't even know what to do. They're a deer in the headlights. And Thomas Jane's like, fucking get the axe! Get the axe! And while it's still happening, chat, Norm's just getting all his meat just sucked off. Not like his meat sucked off, chat, but just meat literally sucked off of the bone like that, chat. It's like you got a goddamn chicken wing like that. And Norm, he's fucking screaming and crying. He's shitting himself. He's pissing himself. And Toby Jones is like, fuck it, Toby Jones, hero time. Thank you. Thank you so much, Chris, for the 5 biddies. The black and white version. I heard the black and white version is the superior way to see this film. It hides some of the wonky CGI effects. I'll check that out in the future, Chris Ayers. I watched the colored. I watched the colorized version, the original theatrical release. I'll do that someday. And so, Toby Jones time. And there's a really bad scene where it's just like, this is really awkward, where Toby Jones is like, I gotta jump over the hentai CGI tentacle. And he goes, ha! He does it, chat, but it does not look good. And Toby Jones punches the goddamn glass, and he grabs the axe, and Toby Jones, listen, his intentions are pure, chat, but he's not much of a hero, at least not yet. He struggles when it comes to the physical labor. And, you know, Thomas James, he's just holding on to Norm. He's just getting all of his meat sucked off, chat. And he's like, fucking cut it off, cut the tentacle off. And meanwhile, there's more tentacles coming inside the docking station, chat. And they're like trying to attack the rednecks. It's smelling things, chat. It's like it places one, it's like has a smelling tentacle, a smelling hentai tentacle, chat, and like a sucking human meat off tentacle. Right? And it's grabbing, like, dog food, chat. It's, like, sucking all the dog food up and stuff. And Toby Jones is like, all right, keep him steady. And he fucking, it's like, Thomas Jane's like, oh, you mean let him go? And as soon as the axe fucking comes down, chat, Thomas Jane lets him go. And fucking Toby Jones almost axes Norm in the head. Almost gets him, just brains him. Yeah, we got another follower. I gotta think this person sucked off. You say, yes, they sucked off his meat. In a non-sexual way. Vicky, welcome to the stream. Thank you for the follow. You're my new Huckleberry. You're just in the middle of Toby Jones trying to save Norm from having his meat sucked off the bone. So, he axes him, chat, but he misses. He whiffs. Norm head hits the fucking docking door, concusses himself, chat, but he's only out for a second. And he grabs on the door, and he's just screaming, Chaz. These tentacles are literally just wrapping around him, chat. All the hentai. Because the creature's like, all right, I'm pressing my luck here. And so he's grabbing Norm, chat. Another tentacle goes inside the building, and Doxy's trying to grab it. So I think Thomas Jane, Toby Jones is like, I'm going to get this one. And Toby Jones comes down with the axe, and he chops off that tentacle, right? And things like, and it fucking freaks out. And it takes Norm, chat. Norm's like, oh, God. And it wraps around his head and just breaks his fucking skull, chat. Just like twists it off from the jaw. And he's taken into the mist. And they finally lower the docking door down. And they're like, okay. And at this point, I love the rednecks are like, hey, man, why didn't you tell me something was out there? It's like, you have the gall to tell Thomas Jane, why didn't you tell me something was out there? It's like, you made it, this is a weird line. He says, you made it sound like it was a big bird. It was like a big bird or something. It's like, no, he didn't. And Thomas Jane just begins pummeling this guy. He just begins smashing his fucking face in. As you would do, chat. As you do. This guy's redneck number one, by the way. We have redneck number one and redneck number two. I don't know their names. And at this point, Toby Jones, he gets Thomas Jane off. He's like, listen, this is not going to solve anything. Okay, we got to tell everyone outside. Okay, we got to tell them what the fuck is going on here. And so they all go out, and they're like, shit. And then everyone's just like, so hi, what's going on? And they're trying to come up with a plan, right? And at this point, they're like, Thomas Jane's like, listen, let's tell someone who is an authority figure. Apparently, Andre Braugher's character, chat, he's a judge of the town, so he's very wealthy, well-respected member of the community. So, look, let's go ahead and tell him what we saw, and he can relay it, and we can, if we need to, we can bring people back to the room and show them. It's like, okay, let's not go outside, because they also say, chat, because they're looking, it's like the front of the grocery store, it's not like bricks and shit, it's literally glass, and they're thinking, what if that fucking hentai monstrosity decides to come through the glass windows? We can't have that, okay? We can't, so we got to come up with some sort of plan and let no one panic, all right? We got to board this shit up, and we got to tell them what's going on. So you're asking, like, why are you boarding up the windows all of a sudden? And so they go to Andre Braugher, who at this point is pretty on edge. Like, he's not in control. The thing is, chat, the movie does a good job of this, is it shows where if people don't have any sense of control or I can't really do anything outside of what their skill set is, society just fucking collapses. And that's what you see here. People just randomly get incredibly aggressive, chat. They don't use their thinking capacity in any case, chat, and they're quick to turn to violence. And that's what the movie does extremely well. And they're quick to believe someone when someone is at least saying something that in their mind makes sense, chat, or scapegoating. They love scapegoating. Thank you, Chris. Good viewers. Welcome to stream, good sir. Hope you're doing very well. How you doing tonight? Yeah, it's great performances in this film. The humans turning on. Yeah, exactly. That's what the movie is shines. It really does shine. I like the creature stuff too, but the human drama is handled very, very well, and that's why it's for the most part, movie is very good. And so they go to Andre Braugher, and at this point, you could tell he's a little off already. And they're like, listen, Andre Braugher, we went back into the docking station. We went with Norm and stuff. Remember Norm? You don't know Norm? It's okay. No one will know him anymore. So we went back there, and this fucking hentai monster came from the mist onto the docking door, grabbed Norm, starts sucking the bones off, the meat off his bones, and he's dead. And Andre Braugher, like, you think, oh my God, he's like, okay, shit, we gotta tell him what's going on. Andre Braugher goes, you must think I'm stupid. Like, hands on his hips, chat. It's just like, you guys, I see what you... Everyone's joking with Andre Braugher just because I'm not one of you people. It's like, what do you mean by you people, Andre Braugher? And he even goes, I expected more of you, Thomas Jane. I thought that you being nice to me today, you offering to drive me to the grocery store and to the fucking hardware store, that we're coming to a a good place in our relationship, but I see you're no better than them. And people are like, excuse me? And she's like, and he says, like, you guys are all fucking rednecks, you're country bumpkins. The only reason why I move here is because of the taxes. That's why Thomas Jane moves here, because of the low taxes. Thomas Jane's like, I ain't saying nothing. I ain't saying nothing right now. Okay? And he's like, bullshit. And he starts bringing people over, just like, hey everyone. Oh, it's a big fucking prank going on. Tell him, Thomas Jane, tell him. And Thomas Jane is just like, yeah, listen, there's something outside in the mist. People are going, outside in the mist? What are you talking about? We went back in the generator room, and whatever it was, came out, and it killed Norm. And we have evidence. We could show you what it was. One of the tentacles came off, and, you know, Andre Brow's like, tentacles. Oh, God, this is what we're talking about now. Tentacles. And, the main bag boy, Chad, I guess the manager of the grocery store comes over. He's like, I'm on Andre Brower's side, okay? I don't believe you. And Thomas Jane, at this point, he's going back and forth with him. Toby Jones is like, listen, boss, okay, let's show you. He's like, Toby Jones, you need to respect my authority. And Toby Jones is like, how about this? How about you shut the fuck up and let's go back there. He goes, Toby Jones, how dare you? But Toby Jones is in control, Chad. It's then the leadership skills are coming out. And they take the manager back there, chat. And when you see it, they see the severed tentacle, chat, where Toby Jones axed it. And he's like, the fuck is that? It's the tentacle. And they take a broom and they poke it and it reacts. It's like, and it's like, oh shit. And then it melts. And then it suddenly dissolves after it's poked. And it's like, oh shit, I guess we don't have more evidence. And they go back outside the main grocery store, chat. And the manager's like, we may have a situation. and you know, then people are like, oh fuck. This is not good. And like, we should start taking account of all the food we have, and I think it would be important to start barricading the front windows. And at this point, fucking Mr. The crazy lady, Crowdy, chat, she's like, see that boy? He was a sacrifice, blood of our blood for our God. And people are like, shut the fuck up, you crazy bitch, okay? That kid was taken by a monster, right? There's something out there. And Andre Brower at this point, he's just like, no, there's not. There's no monster. It's like, and it's just manager's like, there's something that was there, okay? I don't know where, Norm's gone. He's like, Norm's fucking with us, okay? Everything's a joke on Andre Brower. Very, very funny. He's like, you know what? I'm leaving. Fuck your fucking dog food barricade. Fuck your scotch tape repairing these windows. I'm gonna leave. Who's with me? And he gets a couple people, chat, and they're about to leave. This biker guy, he comes over and he says, listen, I'm not gonna go with that crazy piece of shit, okay? This guy's a little arrogant, but I did notice there's an old man in the movie too, chat. He's got a big old mustache. He's kind of like, oh shit, he's like Sam Neill, chat. Thank you, Patrick, for 5 minutes. When shit's going down, there's always time to tell someone to shut the fuck up. Goddamn right. This biker guy, he talks to this very, not Sam Neill, chat. God, what's the actor's name? Fucking mustache. She's killing me right now. Not Taku. 541. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing very, very well. Oh, damn it. Sam Elliott. Got it, chat. Sam Elliott. Got like a Sam Elliott guy. And this biker approaches the Sam Elliott. He's like, hey, man, I knew that you drove like a red pickup truck, right? And he goes, yeah. And it's like, you have a gun in there, don't you? He's like, yeah, I always do take some pot shots with my grandson. And he's like, listen, I'll go out there. I'll get a shotgun so we can have something, okay, so we can defend ourselves. Also, Andrea, she also has a pistol. And she's like, I know how to fucking use this, okay? I don't know, I've shot it a few times, but I'm not really much experience. And Toby Jones is like, I know how to shoot a gun. And people are like, oh, Toby Jones, you can't shoot a gun. Give me a break. And he fucking takes the gun, chat, and he loads it like super cool. It's like, and you're like, oh shit, Toby Jones is a badass. And at this point, but we need, like, shotgun would be good to have too. And Underbrow's like, you get your fucking shotgun. I'm going back home, okay? That's what I'm doing. And so they all go to the front. But meanwhile, the biker's like, hey, if anything bad happens to me, put this fucking rope around me, okay? And pull me the fuck back, okay? In case I get attacked by something. They do that. They put a big old rope around the biker, chat. And right before Andre Brow's about to leave, Thomas James is like, listen, Andre Brow, I know that we've had a lot of history, okay? But just please don't do this, all right? I mean, what if you're wrong? And Andre Brow, he just says, well, If you're right, then the joke's on me then, isn't it? It's like, yes, it is. And so they go out into the mist, chat. They go out into the mist, and they're giving they disappear in the mist. And the biker, he's going towards the car. You don't even see the red car, but they have the rope. He kind of knows where it is in the parking lot, and they keep giving the ropes like a lot of slack, and then they know it's like a little bit of pull, and like, okay, give him more slack. And all of a sudden, chat, the rope just fucking takes off. It's like a shot, chat. It just immediately takes off. They're like, oh shit. So it's going so fast that they're trying to hold on to it. It's just going through their hands, chat. The skin of their hands is just coming off because it's going so. They're like, shit, fuck shit. And it's like everyone in the grocery store is just grabbing on this rope, chat, like wrapping it around like cloth so they can hold it. And all of a sudden, the rope just goes right straight up into the air. And like people are like, oh my God, what the fuck is this? It's nuts. And eventually the rope comes down, and they're like, fucking pull him back. And they just start pulling him back. And then as they notice this white rope, it's blood red. They're like, oh my fucking God. And they pull the rest of the rope, chat. And all that's left of the biker, chat, is his fucking waist and legs. His top half, chat. His top half fucking right. At least they didn't take his balls. Fucking peen and balls up, chat. Gone. Peen and balls up or gone, chat. And it's like, and everyone's like, holy fucking shit. And so, Andre Braugher, the joke was on you. Jay Cuz, welcome to the stream. It was very much a situation. Very much a Blind Fury Cop situation, chat. And so at this point, people are just kind of freaked out by this situation. Mrs. Crowdy, she's getting more people to kind of go to her side, chat. She's speaking of, revelations and, fire and brimstone. And all people are like, I think she's right. I mean, that guy was fucking died. And maybe the monsters were appeased by the blood sacrifice. She's going, hell yeah, they were. Yeah. That's exactly what I was saying. And at this point, most people who aren't fucking nuts start stacking all this dog food as barricade check. That's all they have. They have dog food and like duct tape because they're starting to repair some of the windows too. And eventually, this situation is just it's getting out of hand. It's gotten out of hand, and you have all these other scenes, these small scenes of these characters. It feels very gritty and real. Like each person gets like a moment. Like Sam Whitmore, he's dating, or he's somehow romantically involved with Kathy, the cashier, and they almost have sex, but they don't. And you can sense that there's some chemistry between them. You also have a little bit of a relationship building between Irene talking to Andrea and Thomas Jane and saying, oh, I knew Thomas Jane when he went to school here and all that kind of. It's like, yeah, it's good stuff. It's pretty good. And eventually, but they do have some people watching the front to make sure something isn't kind of come out and attack them. Like what new threat's going to be there. And like everyone's like, it's kind of like almost like has like a cookout kind of feel. It's like a camping trip. That's how Thomas Jane tries to present it to Billy. Because he's fucking traumatized, chat. He saw a man without a torso. He's gone, all right? And he saw fucking Dale from The Walking Dead scared shitless, all right? He's just sucking his thumbs. Oh, God, just shaking the whole time. And so eventually, hey, let's have chicken, barbecue chicken. They bring up the grill chat. They're making the chicken and all that. It's like having a great time. Thomas Jane comes up with an idea with Dale and some of the other people like, hey, in case there's like other creatures out there, I mean, we have a gun, we have a pistol, but let's defend ourselves with like torches and shit, right? Fire bad. They hate fire. And so go with this idea of dousing mops with gasoline, chat. Always a great idea, by the way. Chris, have you ever seen Seven Psychopaths? I have. I thought it was okay. Boba Fett. Welcome to stream. Hope you're doing well. And so they decide to douse mops with gasoline, chat, and use them as, big old torches. That won't burn anyone alive. So they're all eating, it's a nice relaxing evening, chat. It's a little camping trip. Everyone's eating their barbecue chicken. They got this one guy's barbecue chicken. And all of a sudden this fucking bug, this giant bug, chat, it's the size of my head, so it's fucking big, lands right on the window where he's like, oh shit, fuck. I'm like, well, what's wrong? And it's like this giant bug. It's like this almost wasp-like thing. And like everyone comes to the front of the store, they all have these flashlights, they're all pointing them outside, and all these bugs begin landing on the window. And they're like, oh shit, well, at least they don't seem to be coming in or anything. And all of a sudden, chat, like one of them says, wait, there's something out there. And this giant pterodactyl-like thing, chat, hits the window and grabs one of the bugs and starts eating it. It kind of breaks part of the window, chat. It's, cracks the window. And then all of a sudden, all these other pterodactyls start coming in, chat, and grabbing the bugs. And they're like, wait, what's going on? And then Thomas Jane figures out, oh shit, the bugs are attracted to the light. They're landing here, and these bugs are basically a food source for these giant pterodactyl things. And they keep hitting the glass, chat, grabbing it, and the glass is slowly cracking over time. They're like, turn off all the lights! Turn off all the lights! People are like, what? And people are not even listening. And they have all the fuck. First of all, I would have turned all the lights off in the grocery store. Fuck that. We are not having, and we're not going to make sure any of those fucking things see that there's something in here, okay? We're going to play it dead. We should be hanging out in the goddamn back so they know nothing can get at us. So they start to turn some of them off, chat, but of course it's too fucking late. One of the giant pterodactyls, chat, crashes right through the building trying to get some of the bugs, and all these bugs just start pouring in, chat. And people are like, holy shit, fuck. And Kathy, oh, Jesus Christ, Kathy the cashier, chat. Oh, she was going to babysit little Billy on Saturday, chat. Maybe give, Sam Witwer, Darth Maul a nice little handy later on, chat. Not anymore. Because one of these giant bugs lands on her, chat, and stings her in the neck. And she falls down because it's painful. She can't breathe. Sam was like, Kathy, you're going to be okay, Kathy. She's like, she's not going to be okay, chat. Because her throat, not only a throat, her fucking face just begins to inflate, chat. It just becomes swollen. She's like, and like her eyes like popping out, chat, because there's so much pressure. There's so much pressure building up from the venom. And until like, she looks, just like the Elephant Man, chat. That's how deformed she starts to look. Until she just can't breathe anymore and she just fucking dies. Someone's like, Kathy. Meanwhile, these people are fighting off against the bug shat. Remember those mop torches I told you about? They light them up. Not a good idea because they have these buckets of gasoline, chat, where they dunk the mop in there. And the thing is, when they take the mop out, chat, there's a huge trail of gasoline. And then they light them. And so when they light them, chat, you get one little fucking spark and so many people would start just bursting the flames, chat, because their goddamn clothes are covered in gasoline. And you see this one poor son of a bitch is like, oh, God. He's running around. He's not doing well. They try to put him up, chat, but he's like, ooh, he's not looking good. He's looking like fucking Bacon Sharon from Silent Hill 1, chat. Very bad. Katie, thank you for the 4 biddies, or 5 biddies, excuse me. Shout out to Sam Webber for being lit. On fire, yes. Hell yeah, he's hot. He's a hot man. He's a hot man. So it's pretty bad. The bugs are attacking me. One of the bugs lands on the Mrs. Karate, chat. She's like praying to God and shit. And the bug's just like, you're too crazy to kill. And this thing just fucking flies away. She goes, oh, I'm anointed. I am the speaker of God. And so many people are like, you know what? She's fucking nuts, but there's something to her. I'm very scared right now, and she's saying things I don't understand, but there's some, I like the cut of her jib. So she gets even more followers based on this fucking bug. Just like, nah, this bitch too crazy. And it flies away. Meanwhile, chat, these pterodactyls just start eating. They're not big. They're pretty big. And they start like ripping at people, like kind of munching on them, like their backs and shit. And eventually, Billy, who's kind of come to, and so he's scared as fuck at this point. By the way, Toby Jones is just shooting these guys out of the air, chat. We learned that Toby Jones was like state champion of Maine of shooting guns and shit, and he's just shooting all these guys out of the air like crazy. Toby Jones has a lot of great moments in this. He gets some of the best moments in the movie. And so he's shooting all this shit. And Billy, he has he was not long for this world. He has a very low flight or fight instinct, chat. It's non-existent. And he's just, the one woman who's with him, chat, the one, assistant teacher to Irene, she's like, Billy, come with me. No, fucking don't stand in the middle of the hallway, chat. And this fucking pterodactyl's like foremost target identified, squishy little soft boy gonna munch on him. And it goes right at him, chat, right at him. And he's just like, what? What's going on? He doesn't turn around, chat. No sense of peripheral vision whatsoever. And Thomas Jane, he's like, Billy, you idiot! And grabs Billy. He's like, ah! And, he kind of, Thomas Jane goes, what? He flings himself, chat. And Toby Jones is like a goddamn badass, chat. Pulls up the gun, boom! Shoots it from like 20 yards away, chat. And it's dead. He walks on over, double taps, chat. Double taps. Meanwhile, we go check on everyone who's alive, chat, which there's a lot of people alive except for, Kathy, the cashier girl. Her whole fucking half of her face is swollen, chat, just pustules and just leaking. She's leaking everywhere, chat, from her face. It's gross. And Sam Witwer is very sad. He's very sad about this. After all this crazy shit, they kind of take account of, like, what the hell happened. They repair some of the damage in the windows, what they can, but at this point, Mrs. Karate, because I think Thomas Jane, he's like, I gotta go. I just need a moment for myself. I gotta walk away. He fucking breaks down and shit. Meanwhile, we go back to Andrea chat. She's, Irene is sleeping. Some of the other people are sleeping. She goes, checks on the assistant teacher who is taking care of Billy. She's like, hey, I'm just going to go talk to Thomas Jane for a second. She like shakes her chat, dead. Fucking took over prescription medication, just killed herself. She's like, I'm not dealing with this anymore. And maybe like some of the guilt, because Thomas Jane's like kind of shitty. He looks at the assistant teacher's like, you're supposed to protect him. And it's like, dude, your kid's an idiot, all right? Don't blame her. Don't blame because you dumb kid doesn't know how to get out of the way of a giant pterodactyl, okay? Come on. Like, I don't care how old or young you are. You don't get in the trajectory chat of a giant pterodactyl who has already been eating and taking meat chunks out of people, all right? Billy was not long for this world. So I feel bad for that poor woman. And at this point, Andrea and Thomas Jane, they have a moment. They're just trying to like, okay, we got to come up with a plan here. This is just not looking good. Eventually, I think Dale comes on over. He's like, hey, you got to go check on this guy. And they go check on the chat. One of the people that set themselves on fire, he's really fucked up. He's very, very crispy. Like his meat, like his fucking flesh, he was burning so much, his flesh is just falling off. Like he looks like Two-Face. His ear is gone. All of his hair is gone. And he's just like, just fucking kill me. Just end it. And I guess the morning. It's the next morning. So some people are dead. Some people are alive. Mrs. Crowdy, she's acting all nuts. And he's like, what do we have for him? Like, Toby Jones, like, we have whiskey, we have wine, we have beer, and we have aspirin. That's all we can do. That's not going to help him. And Thomas Jane's like, we're not going to let this man kill himself, okay? We're not going to do that. We can go to the pharmacy. We go to the pharmacy. And everyone's like, are you serious? After what we just saw, there's fucking hentai tentacles, okay? There's giant bugs and pterodactyls out there. We are not going out there. Thomas Jane's like, but the guy, what about him? We can save him. There was some more supplies, some more survivors. And Mr. Crowdy's just like, all right, maybe you'll appease the monster if you're sacrificing. Like, fuck you, crazy lady. And so they get like a good group of folks to go with him, chat. Thomas Jane, they get Andrea, she stays with Billy. She's like, you stay here and take care of my son, okay? And don't be like the lady that killed herself. So we got Thomas Jane, chat. You got the hillbilly number one, redneck number one. He goes, because Irene, the teacher, shames him. She goes, you were a low-performing student. You go ahead. And she even joins him too, chat. Dale also goes, chat, along with the brother of the guy who was all burned up. And I think maybe and Sam Wood, because hey, can we get the military to help us here? And Sam Wood was like, he was the only one who's like, I'll volunteer, I'll go. And they go out into the mist chat. They get like some guns, some weapons. They fucking sharpen broom handles. That's their weapon against whatever the fuck is outside. And they go out there, chat, and they're fucking creeping, going as slow as possible, chat. They're hearing, the sound design in this movie is brilliant, by the way. The sound is great. They're hearing all these weird noises off in the distance. Like, I don't want to go over there. And eventually, chat, they go to the pharmacy. And they notice the pharmacy is just caked. It's just layered in white webbing, chat, like spider webs, like giant spider webs, isn't it? And I saw giant spider webs completely encased in a room that it's barely been 48 hours, chat. It's been about like a day and a half. And if I saw this, I'd be like, nope, absolutely not. I am not going to have something eat me or lay their eggs inside of me. It's going to be one of the two things, chat. You know it's always going to be one of those two things. So they go in there and they find all the shit they want. Oxycontin, all sorts of droogs. And then oh God, I hate this hillbilly guy. He's like, hey guys, come over here. Look at it. And he looks up, chat, and we see all these people are just spider web to the wall, chat. It's like all the spider splooge you can imagine, chat. And it's all on these people. And they're just up there and they're like, oh my God, what the fuck? And they're all kind of like looking around, and these people, they're all dead. It appears that they're all dead. And eventually the redneck, he's back up. We should get out of here. And he backs up, and this one guy who's webbed, and the guy who's webbed grabs, he goes, oh, oh, oh. He's just screaming. And he turns around like, holy shit. And they look at it. It's one of the military police guys from earlier who came in and said, don't panic, everyone. Everything's fine. Don't worry about it. And this guy, he's webbed to this wall. He's looking a little puffy. He's got some welts on him. Like, holy shit. They go up to him. He's like, and Sam Witwer's like, he's trying to use his big old fucking knife. He's like, I can't cut through the webbing. And all the guys saying, it's like, it's our fault. It's our fault. It's our fault. And it's like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? But at this point, they notice around the room, everything starts to move and shake. They set off the web. And these giant, they look like the size of dogs. Imagine, chat, a tarantula, with a pissed off fucking face, the size of a Labrador. Is coming out of the wall at you, chat. Fucking nightmare. And that's when you start vomiting, Afro. I understand. And these things start vomiting too, chat, because they produce a acidic web. And if it lands on you, Chet, cut your fucking limbs off. That's what it does. And apparently it's poisonous too. And they start shooting all this shit off. And this one guy gets it wrapped around his leg. The brother of the guy who's burned, gets it wrapped around his leg. I thought it cut his leg off, Chet, but it goes right fucking through. And it's like infects his entire leg, Chet, because it's all red and puffy. He's just fucking screaming his ass off. Meanwhile, the guy in the wall, his pustules, Chat, just start popping. He's like, I feel them. And he rips his shirt off, Chat. And it's just, and this is great. They use a combination of, this is what they should have done throughout the movie, of practical effects and CGI enhancements, Chat. Because the makeup they have on this guy's body with these, hundreds of little, I mean, maybe dozens, like dozens upon dozens of these little pustules, Chat, like warts on him, right? And they're all like shaking and jiggling and shit. And all of a sudden, Chet, you cut up to his face, and Illusion's killed here, sadly. Because these fucking spiders start popping up. It's like, oh, it'd be horrifying. The thing is, though, Chat, the rendering on the spiders is so bad when it starts to crawl on him, it looks like it's just crawling on, not even on his material, Chat, on his shirt. It looks like it's crawling on like a fucking plate of glass that's in front of him. It doesn't look great, but the idea is horrifying, Chat. And these things just start bursting out of this guy, and he's screaming. And eventually he falls down, Chat. The webbing gives loose, and his back is just all exposed. Like his flesh peels off his back, Chat, and they all start pouring out of him. It's horrifying. It's like, oh my God. And they're like, we gotta get the fuck out of here. Okay, that guy's fucking, his legs all fucked. They grab him, Chat. One other poor son bitch, I think that was in there, Chat. He gets fucking webbed in the face, and his face just, this is a good practical effect. Good combination practical effect here, CGI. Webs his face, and his face just starts melting in on itself. He's like, and it's like his meat, he's choking on his own meat. This man is choking on his own face. Wow. And so they're trying to, oh, by the way, fucking Irene badass, Chat, because she comes in there with some hairspray. It's like, it's not used to do up her do, Chat, not some ordinary Farrah Fawcett spray. She grabs a goddamn lighter, Chat, because, she smokes a little bit, and she burns one of these fuckers. She's like, fuck you, and she burns him, Chat. Badass Irene, love that. She's an OG Mills cop, absolutely. So she burns that fuck. And they're like, we gotta get the fuck out of here. Meanwhile, the guy who got his leg like covered in that webbing, Chat, his soup leg's all puffy and the poison's worked all its way up, and he just dies on the spot. He's dead. We gotta leave him. And all these other spiders are coming at him, Chat. Dale from The Walking Dead. I guess the leader of the spiders, Chat, or the queen, this huge one. It's like the size of a Saint Bernard, comes at him, and Dale, he just goes in there with his fucking giant broomstick, Chat, and goes, he stabs it like multiple times, and he gets it right in there between like its neck, its neck and thorax, Chat, and he lifts up in the air, and he throws in the broomstick out of the way. He's just like, and they just fucking take off running. They take off running, and all the little baby spiders start to eat the other guy that was on the ground. He's dead. And the guy that is eating his own face is also being eaten alive, Chat. Imagine eating your own face, having it melt in and go down your esophagus, Chat, while also being eaten by spiders. Fuck. So they run back to the grocery store, and they're like, fucking open up. And they open up, and they're like, okay, this is, and they're like, what happened? Bad. Everyone's dead. Everyone's fucking dead. And it's not great. And I love it, Chat, because Thomas Jane's like, hey guys, we got the fucking Oxycontin and the drugs. And the guy who was burned to this, like, oh yeah, he died like 5 minutes ago. And they're like, fuck, he's dead, Chat. And Thomas Jane is like, I need a nap. And so he goes to the aisle that they've been living in, and he just starts napping, Chat. He comes to 24 hours later. He slept for a day, Chat, because of the trauma and the stress and seeing people birth spiders and people eating their own faces because they're melting. Horrifying. He comes to, and Mrs. Crowdy, Chat, half the grocery store, if not more, if not 2/3 of the grocery store, is on her side at this point, Chat. She's fucking singing the praises of the Old Testament God, Chat. Not like New Testament God. Like he calmed down when he had his kid, okay? JC's like, hey, I got JC. JC, you're the next generation, man. You tell him what you need to tell him, man. I'm just going to sit back and just watch you do it, okay? You can do this. No, this is fucking Old Testament shit. It's like, I will burn you all. I will turn you into salt. It's like shit like that, Chat. It's like the kind of God that is gonna fuck with his most loyal followers. It's like, yeah, Isaac, or what was it, Isaac or Job? It was the story. I think it was Job. Maybe it was Isaac. I don't remember. But Isaac, hey, you've been fucking loyal to me. I made a bet with the goddamn devil, and I'm gonna kill your whole family and inflict you with pox because I know you love me. That kind of God. And at this point, Thomas Jane's like, we gotta fucking leave, okay? Because they're gonna start turning to people, and it's gonna get fucked up. Eventually, they'll be like, we got to figure out, like, what the hell's going on at this point. And so, because something's weird, okay? Because the military police guy said, it's our fault. And he's like, we got to talk to those 3 GIs that we have here. And so he goes to Sam Witwer, who's completely by himself. And it was Job. Thank you, Guard Angel. Thank you. My Old Testament's a little rusty. It was Job. Thank you. So they go to Sam Witwer, and they go, hey, so did you hear that military guy say that it was all their fault? And he's like, someone's like, I know nothing about that, okay? And they're like, up in those mountains, okay? We know there's a big military installation up there, all right? You're stationed there. What the hell did you hear? He's like, I don't want to say, okay? It's like, I just guarded it, okay? That's all I did. And like, you're not telling us something. He's like, okay, fine, all right. I'll tell you. But let me go find my friends, okay? We'll tell you together. And they're like, well, where the hell are they? He's like, I haven't seen them in a couple hours. And so they go look for him. I think they said they're going to go in the back room or something to be by themselves, to sleep. And so they go in the back room, chat, the storage area. And they're like, they're not here. Where the fuck are they? And Andrea, she finds them, chat. They've hung themselves. And she's like, oh, shit, fuck. And someone was like, oh, my God. They said they told me they would do it, but I didn't believe them. And they're like, okay, these guys killed themselves for a reason. What the fuck is going on? And what's all going on, chat? The fucking country bumpkin, the redneck #1, who he's totally drinking the Kool-Aid of what Mrs. Crowdy's saying. He's fucking spying on them right now. Okay, he's just like, what the hell? What the hell are you talking about? And so, Sam Witwer basically says, okay, the thing that we were guarding, it's called Project Arrowhead, okay? These scientists said that they wanted to explore other dimensions. They wanted to open up, this is what I heard. They want to explore other dimensions, create a window, and pass through it. And I guess they did it, but we didn't go through, something came out. And this is what I think the mist is. And they're like, you couldn't have shared this earlier. It's like, I don't know, okay? It's not my fault. It's not my fault. And then the fucking redneck guy goes, it was you. He's like, no, it wasn't. And he fucking grabs him, chat. And he brings, like, all the people are like, all of Mrs. Crowdy's followers are right there. And she goes, yes, my disciple, good. Thank you. I'm saying 5 minutes just asked Dr. Strange, right? Exactly, that Weasley son of a bitch. Thank you, Doctor, the 5 biddies. And so they bring poor Sam Witwer. He didn't deserve. He's so fucking handsome. And they bring Sam Witwer out, and Mrs. Crowdy is like, you lied to us. You brought about this church. She's like, no, I'm just there. I just guarded. And he's just like, no. Your sin must be paid in blood. Paid in blood. Paid in blood. Paid in blood. Yeah, paid in blood. And they were like all cheering that. And then the fucking, how appropriate, Chad, the butcher, the guy who does the cold cuts, Chad. I love cold cuts. I love some cold, fucking turkey, Chad. Some turkey breast. Some mesquite turkey. Some smoked turkey. Maybe a little bit of ham every once in a while, Chad. I'll even go a little worse, Chad. He comes on over with his fucking knife and just begins stabbing the shit out of Sam Witwer, Chad. Just all in the tum-tum. All in the tum. Someone's like, they're like, no. Everyone's screaming. Thomas Jane's like, no, don't do it. But they're minority at this point. And at this point, Miss Crowdy's just like, feed him to the beasts. Feed him to the beasts. And they just fucking carry Sam Witwer. And he's like, please, God, please. And he's like, I grew up here. You people know me. I went to school. Irene's crying because she fucking taught him school, chat. She was a middle school teacher. And they go to the front, chat, and they just fucking throw him out there. And his stomach is coming out, chat. It's like he's bleeding profusely, and he's by the door. He says, please. And then, chat, you see this thing come out of the mist. I don't know how to describe it. It's like a combination of a giant crab, scorpion. It looks like that monster called the centaur from Fallout. Kind of looks like that. Not like a centaur, like half human, half horse thing, but just this. It's like a scorpion abomination thing. And he turns around, he sees this, like, oh, fuck me. And he's like, please. And this thing reaches for him, chat, grabs him, and just takes him, chat. And you hear him scream, go, ah! And you just hear this thing start eating him alive. You hear all the screams, all the bone, the blood, the viscera. He is dead, chat. It was Scorpion King. It was The Rock. What's The Rock cooking, chat? Sam Witwer. It was Sam Witwer the whole time, chat. That's what The Rock is cooking. So, so he's fucking dead. He's dead. And fucking Thomas Jane, Andrea, Dale, Irene, everyone, like the sensible people, Toby Jones, like, we gotta get the fuck out of here. Okay, Toby Jones is like, listen, we can make a run for it. I have the keys to my car, okay? I'm gonna get some groceries. We can go and we'll put them in the front. We'll put them in the front, and then we'll leave. We'll leave in the morning, okay? We'll leave at dawn. Let's get the hell out of here. And Thomas Jane's like, good idea. And then morning comes, Chad. Like everyone's pretty much asleep, because they're all fucking drinking the Kool-Aid of Mrs. Karate. Or Karate, I don't know what the hell her name is, the crazy Christian lady. And Tommy says, "Okay, guys, let's get going." So you got like some other ancillary characters to chat, like the fucking Sam Elliott guy. He's there too. The surviving redneck number 2, who's like, "I'm not with my friend anymore. He's fucking nuts. I want to leave." And also the manager of the grocery store. And so they all go up to the front, chat, but the groceries, like, where are the groceries? They're all gone. And then who's there, chat? Mrs. Crowdy. She's sitting on a lawn chair, drinking some milk. She going, "Oh, hello, sinners." And Thomas Jane's just like, "Listen, okay, you can have whatever crazy fucking cult you want. We're just gonna leave. We're just gonna go." She's like, no, I don't think so. You have brought destruction upon my flock with your dirty, disgusting sins. And all of her followers start coming out, chat, and she's like, you and your ilk, you will appease the beasts outside. And everyone's just like, some of the, like, Andrea's like, "You're a crazy fucking bitch." She's like, "You will be sacrificed." And she looks at the boy. She's like, "I don't like the way he's looking at me. Bring us the boy. Let the creatures feast upon his flesh." And they're like, all the people in the grocery store, chat, they're all grabbing on Andrea, and the boy Billy's just screaming his head off. He's terrified. And she's like, "Yes, blood of my blood, feed." And then, chat, you hear this fucking shot ring out, chat. Boom. And the glass that she was holding on this milk shatters. And she's like, "The fuck?" And she looks down herself. She's been shot. And the crowd fucking parts, chat. It parts. And who's holding that goddamn gun, chat? Who did I tell you? Who's that crack shot? Toby goddamn Jones. He's going, "Shut the fuck up, bitch." Boom! And brains her, chat. Shoots her in right between the goddamn eyes, and she's dead. Everyone's like, okay. Okay. All right, we're going to let Toby Jones do his thing. And everyone just backs off at that point. They're like, wow, all right. Jesus. And I'm like, go, just take your groceries and go. And so they all go outside, chat. Like, Thomas Jane, like Andrea, Irene, Dale, a couple other people. They get moving and grooving. But during this whole thing, chat, the fucking creatures start attacking because there's been so much goddamn noise. They all start attacking them. The first guy to go down is redneck number 2, chat. He gets fucking acid venom in the face. His face starts melting on itself. The manager or the Sam Elliott guy, he pulls up a good fight, chat. He fights him off of a wrench, but eventually they all come upon him, chat. They just begin eating him alive. It's horrific. And then the manager, who was helping the two of them, just goes, "Fuck this," and he runs back to the grocery. She's like, let me in. I was wrong. I'm all about the religion and shit. And they let him in eventually. But then we cut to Toby Jones and the rest of the group. Toby Jones, he's the first one to get to the car, chat. Oh, this kills me. This hurts me, chat. Not as much as Toby Jones, though. And he gets the car up. He's like, "Hey, guys, I did it." And then Toby Jones. And then Toby Jones turns around, chat, and I can't even describe it. This giant abomination, Lovecraftian monster just looks down at him, grabs him, chat, and he's like, and just squishes him, chat. And Toby Jones his blood in viscera cakes the entire parking lot, chat. It's like, oh my God. Yeah, Ollie got. Ollie got. He didn't deserve it. He was the best of us, Chad. He was the best of us. And he's dead. But thankfully, the car keys are in the car. And so they all start, Thomas Jane, Billy, Andrea, Dale, Irene, the survivors, chat. They all pour into the car. For whatever reason, Thomas Jane's like, "I got to grab the empty, that's not empty, I guess, technically." He grabs the gun chip and a fucking giant spider is on the windshield. And it tries to get at him. But thankfully, he manages to grab the gun. And he fucking floors it, chat, shoots the spider, falls down dead. And he passes by the grocery store one more time where all the people are looking out at them. By the way, there's this beautiful haunting music playing at this scene, chat, all the way up till pretty much the ending. And it's great. It's so ominous and tragic. It's just like, oh my God, it eats at you. It's just like, oh my God, you just feel the weight of it. And you see the manager, he's alive. He's like, yeah, I'm not going those crazy fucks, right? Right, guys? And so Thomas Jane's like, first place I'm going to go to is back home to Stephanie. Because remember, Chad, he left his wife at the house saying, I'll be back in a couple hours. You know, we're going to bring up some food and get some hamburgers and grill ourselves. We're going to spend the night roasting marshmallows. She goes, Stephanie's like, that sounds great. I love you, Thomas Jane. I love you, Stephanie. And so he goes back to the home, chat. He pulls up, and the first thing he sees is just his wife spider-webbed to the side of the house, chat, right where the tree came through, just pumped full of probably egg shad and just a shell of herself, just a mummified shell. And Thomas Jane's is like, fuck, and he starts crying. He's a great actor in this movie. Starts crying, chat. Billy, thankfully, is so traumatized by everything he's seen so far, he's passed the fuck out. Dale, Irene, Andrea are like, oh my God, we're so sorry. He's crying. He's like, well, I gotta go. And I guess Andre Braugher, he did not make it, chat. He doesn't check out Andre Braugher to see if he made it. And he turns the car around, and they just keep driving. They keep driving, chat. And what's cool is it's almost peaceful in how disturbing it is, but they pass by all these creatures, chat, these labyrinth-sized monsters, chat, like they're so big, like these giant brachiosaur-esque things, right? And they have like almost like a little civilization, like covered in mushrooms, and there's things moving on them. They're like, oh my God. And this thing like looks down at him, is just like, whatever. Doesn't even care about him. It's so big, it's just like, I don't give a shit. And keeps walking. Eventually, chat, though, they check the gas. It's going slowly empty until eventually they stop and they're out of gas. There's nothing. There's nothing left. They're still in the middle of the mist, chat. They tried to go as far as they could, and they're still in the middle of it. And we come to apparently one of the more controversial scenes in the movie. I think this is brilliant. This is not from the book, chat. This is Frank Darabont's decision. I think because the book just ends. It just has them driving. It has them driving to Hartford, Connecticut, chat. I went to Hartford, Connecticut when I lived in Connecticut. Boring as shit. Like, no one cares. What he did here, I think, was very brave, and it's goddamn tragic. Because they stop, and, Dale's like saying, well, at least we tried. At least we made a run for it. And they're all kind of just sitting there, and they're just looking at each other, just very little dialogue. And, Thomas Jane, he pulls out the gun. And, they all look at him, and they look at the gun, and one by one, they just go. Dale nods. Irene nods. Andrea crying, but she nods. And, Billy, he's just asleep. He's just asleep in Andrea's arms, chap. And Thomas Jane, he cocks the gun, chap. And Billy's just like, so what'd I miss? Hey, Dad, what are you doing? Billy's reaction is like, so what, Dad? And then it cuts outside the car. And you hear and see the muzzle flash, chap. Pop, 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 pop. 4 shots. And we cut him back inside the car. And Thomas Jane's just going, just screaming and crying. Thank you, Patrick. I'm wearing the same shirt. He just absolutely fucking loses his shit, just crying, and you see in back, Dale's been shot, Irene's been shot, you can imagine what happened to Andrea and Billy, and he puts the gun in his mouth, and he knows he's out of bullets, he knows he only had 4 shots, but he still's like, just trying to do it, and he's just crying, he's like, fuck it, and he's just smashing the car, and he goes outside. Thank you again, Bachelor of the 5 Biddies. He goes outside, and he just starts screaming to the mist. He's like, come on! Do it! Fucking do it! Just fucking kill me! Kill me! And he hears this thing, like, he hears the creatures that, like, maybe they're attracted to him. And he's just like, yes, just fucking do it! And then, chat, all of a sudden, he hears this loud sound come out of the mist. He's like, okay, good, this thing's gonna fuck me up. And it's this giant tank. It's this American tank, chat, just comes right out of the mist. And he sees that following that tank are all these soldiers walking behind it, chat, and the mist starts to part. And they all have these flamethrowers, chat, and he sees these emergency vehicles going past and past. And on the one emergency vehicle, chat, I was like, wow, I forgot about this. Fucking Carol. from the beginning of the movie who said, please, my children, I don't leave them alone often. I just didn't know. I don't be away for 5 minutes. Someone come with me. Someone come with me. Everyone's just like, no. And she asked Thomas Jane, she's like, please, I got my own kid to take care of. And she gives him the most shit-eating grin, just going, yeah. Yeah. Oh, my God. Thank you, Platinum PT. For the follow. You're my new Huckleberry. Welcome to stream. Not Carol Baskin. Carol from The Walking Dead. I forgot the actress's name. But she has both her kids. She's like, see, I got 2+ kids. You're -1. Ha! And then these 2 military guys just approach Thomas Jane, and you see all the flame. They're burning the mist away, all the creatures away. Chad Thomas Jane sees all this, and he just collapses on his knees and just crying, Chad, just screaming in the air, just tears coming down his face, and it slowly pans up to basically all being cleared out, Chad. And then credits. That's the mist. It's such a damn tragic ending. He was literally minutes away from him and all and his son and his friends from being saved, chat. And that's the fucking tragedy of this. I get it. Some people hate this ending because it doesn't leave you feeling good. You're like, well, that happened. Damn. But it's better than them just driving off into the mist and not knowing what happens to them. I think that's kind of a cop-out. So the fact that Darabont took that and like we said, no, we're going to commit to this. This is how it's going to be. It's going to be a tragedy. You know, it's a deconstructionist look at humanity and society with monsters as an external element. But at the end of the day, it's a tragedy. And yeah, it's a brilliant ending. It's probably one of the best adaptations of Stephen King's works in terms of its ending. Because Stephen King's always criticized for his ending, and this one nailed it. This one fucking nailed it. So, yeah, I don't know, Chad. I was thinking, like, I'd give this, like, a high matinee. But the more I think about it, like, when I think about the acting and what they do with so little, you know, like, the big problem I have with this movie is, sadly, the CGI. Some of the CGI just does not work. It's not rendered fully. And I think that's because of their budget. I mean, had it been a little bit better, had they used more practical effects, which, again, I know they're not going to do because practical effects are way more expensive than CGI. That's why you see so much CGI, chat, not so much practical effects. Sometimes you can just one and done with practical effect. If you don't make it, then it's like, we're fucked. So I would then, you know, chat, thinking about it and going to this review, I'd give it a low full price. This is a low full price movie. It's really enjoyable. It's perfect for Halloween, for the month of October. I highly recommend checking it out, chat. Apocalyptic too, yeah. Midwest Cop, low full price. Zodiac, low full price. Afro. What? Thank you, Josh, for the 420 biddies. I adored the ending when I first saw it. Yeah, I did too. I was like, whoa, what a brave choice. What a super brave choice. Yeah, Afro, it's a good low full price. Yeah, it's low full price. There's some things could have been better, like that CGI. Had they just used more practical effects, or you know, had a bigger budget, it would be a full price. So yeah, Baird and Sachs that they killed off the crazy religious. I mean, I'm glad they did that. I was like, that was cathartic. We needed that moment. 3 out of 5, sucking hentai. Very nice. It's a new rating. Thank you, Nia Brownie. I heard the series wasn't really anything to rate. I watched 2 episodes of the series. I was bored as shit. Did not care for that. I think it's on Netflix. That's how I watched it originally. Yeah, it was boring what I watched, and apparently it got canceled. They want to do more seasons. People were like, no, this sucks. Yeah, I did not care for it. I know Sissy Spacek was in it, but yeah, too bad. No, see the movie, Chad. I recommend it. I think you'll get a big kick out of it. It's about a little over 2 hours long, but they use the running time effectively. Yeah, very enjoyable film, Chad.